Drawing and talking, drawing and talking, sketching and kvetching. Part 3, technically, because the first part was done off camera. I tend to make things less interesting when I'm getting to this bottom area, because the attention always gets drawn to this part of the drawing, and then on the bottom it just sort of feels like the eye needs to rest. Otherwise it's like just like a wallpaper pattern. Estimate how much time it will take to finish. Half an hour. I did want to try to draw, turn the sound off, and then do a voiceover post-production. Maybe something more scripted. I do have writings. Maybe I can just read some of the writings I have done, or stories. Could be a story time while drawing. Why not? Kind of want to avoid using repetitive pattern. We do need a challenge. This is a nice escape from the screen. And it provides a continuous focus, which is rare these days. Like, it's very challenging now to read a book all the way from the beginning to the end continuously. And I haven't done that in a while, until I came across Project Hail Mary, a book I read last month, and I kind of read it in few sittings. It was quite captivating. And so I kind of felt great to recapture that ability to read a book continuously without interruption. And that's also something, this drawing is also something that helps, because screen addiction is a major health issue, and the people are quiet about it because most people actually make a living off of it. So it's sort of like the tobacco industry pushing propaganda that cigarettes are great for you, even doctors. It's, get that new phone, get that new app, get addicted to dopamine. You basically have a slot machine in your pocket, or a roulette. It's sort of gamble. It's like, what's next? What's behind the screen? Let's scroll down and see what happens. And everything seems, once you see it, it's not satisfying. The only satisfying part is anticipation. So I don't really hope for this to reach great audiences, even though I kind of wish that this sort of content can break that problem of screen addiction and squirrelification of the brain, ADHD. More and more adults have ADHD diagnosis. I wonder why. Oh, what's that over there? Let's click on that. Total improvisation. But I don't think there is such a thing as total improvisation, because even in this, I have rules. Or in music, the jazz musician doesn't do total improvisation. They have an instrument to play along a theme. They don't suddenly start, like, I don't know, chewing gum loudly or jumping around. Steps. How many steps did you do today? The app will tell you. I once bought an Apple Watch and I had it for a few months until I broke it. And it was exhausting. It was like having, it's sort of a device on your wrist that behaves like your mom. It's like, oh, it's time to take your walk. Oh, it's time to do this. Have you eaten yet? It keeps me, I turned off most notifications, but there are some that I couldn't turn off. It kept nagging me. Have you done this? Have you done that? Like, are you my mom? Just shut up. Just be a watch. Show me the time. So, like, that was my experience with Apple Watch. And I generally turn off notifications and apps. It would be just too much. The watch telling you, have you found a nice girl yet? You're getting older and you're not having a children. And I'm like, Mom, who's serving who? Is technology serving us, or are we slaves to technology? My lower back is achy. Not from inactivity, from exercise actually, from squats. Yeah, it's like I have this strange, almost discomfort that I'm very boring as a person, and like a lot of cool people would have stories to tell and maybe embellish a little bit, but at least they're interesting. To embellish a story is a skill. There's a lot of tall tales out there people are telling, because the world is built on words. When you think about it, just look at actions. How many actions can you see, and how many words that announce them? There's a lot of words that announce the actions. And sometimes the words have no bearing. There's like no consequence to promises people make. What about that orphanage that you were supposed to build? Oh, I was just, kind of thinking out loud, dreaming, but I was never going to build it. So how was your day? Today, finally, the sun came out and it was comfortable outside, and I went on a trail, just quick running loop. I did some cool climbing challenges on the rocks and fallen trees, and some running, striding. It was fun. I was a little more tired today because I'm doing every other day I'm doing meatless diet, just plant-based food, just to see what happens. Today was the plant-based meals, and I feel like I don't really lack nutrients. I just felt like I didn't recover enough from the previous day. So, but it was kind of a nice light exercise in the sun. Luckily, no ticks. I don't know. I think ticks don't like me. People always complain about ticks, and I've never in my life had any tick attach itself to me. I'm almost feeling disappointed and like neglected by the ticks. Why don't you like me, ticks? Mosquitoes, sometimes they like me, but also not as much. Yeah. And then I drove to aquarium store. It's about 45 minutes drive from where I live. And I bought some new fish for my tank that I set up some time ago. 22-gallon long tank. And I bought 6 black neon tetras. They're quite striking, but they're babies. They're still juveniles. They're very small, and they're finding their way around the aquarium. And I built it to sort of imitate their natural environment with a lot of fallen leaves, like dried out palm fronds, and some surface plants with roots submerged in the water. It looks good, but also it eliminates ammonia and nitrates that can accumulate from fish waste. So it's just basically ecosystem that sustains itself. There's probably some microfauna in it they can eat, but I still feed them. And in the store, I don't know, I was a little disappointed because I kind of like this store. I kind of lately found this store, but the fish keeping industry, aquarium industry in my area really suffers lately. I'm not sure, for some time it's been hard to find healthy fish or any fish. There's a lot of reducing of what fish are being sold, and in some way it's actually a good thing that the aquarium industry is waning, because it's pretty questionable. I mean, there are some practices that are downright evil, these money-making schemes, but a lot of the aspects of aquarium hobby also aims at conservation. So there are seasons in the Amazon, and during the wet season the forest is flooding. The rivers are flooding the areas nearby, and so the whole area is kind of turning into the flooded forest, and you have like pretty much terrestrial plants being submerged in water now, and all the woods and dry leaves and everything, and those fish or tetras and all the other fish are exploring those areas, and they breed. They swim out of the boundaries of the river, original boundaries, and then they get stuck when the waters recede, when it's the wet season winds down and its dryness comes in and the water evaporates. The river recedes and traps millions of those raminos, tetras, neon tetras, cardinals, and black neon tetras too. And so one of the efforts is to catch those fish rather than letting them die. People catch them, and it actually sustains a lot of communities in South America. People who catch those fish and ship to to an aquarium store or to a distributor. So sometimes you might have some hesitation about buying fish that were caught wild. And I used to have them, but now I feel like it actually is a good thing for the fish to be given a second chance rather than dying in a mud puddle somewhere. So hopefully they will do well. I never know. Sometimes the fish has some underlying health issues that kind of pop up after weeks or even months, and there's not much you can do, and you feel like a crappy fish keeper that couldn't provide environment for your fish. But there's really not much you can do. It's just the inbreeding, the weak genetics. So yeah. Oh, someone sent me a funny story. I mean, funny, I don't know if it's funny, but interesting. Apparently, someone notified the police somewhere in some small town. And the complaint was that they saw a man wearing camouflage, military garb, camouflage, and holding a bazooka. So pretty alarming. And then it turned out that the police looked into it, and it turned out that it was just some landscaper walking around with a leaf blower. So like, totally makes sense to me, because I've always said that American gardening, American landscaping is very warlike. Everything has to be loud and stinky and high impact. And it's basically murdering the animals that might be living in the bushes and grass, mowing and hacking and blowing leaves with the most diabolical machine ever invented, the leaf blower, the gas-powered leaf blower. So I'm kind of known amongst my friends as the one that hates the leaf blowers. So occasionally I have someone send me a story about leaf blowers, like, oh, where the leaf blowers were banned, and then I rejoice, because it's just a dreadful machine. It doesn't do anything good. I mean, for the benefit of having some debris removed, you get bird poop, dust flying in the air, you breathe it in. You have gasoline smell all over the place. And the noise is just unbearable from leaf blowers. There's something about the frequency of this sound that just sends me, puts me in a murderous mood. I don't know how people use that thing. Sometimes really without any good reason too. Like, I've seen a guy leaf blowing a dirt road. Like, where's he going to blow this dirt? Like, it's a dirt road, so is he going to remove all the dirt until the road is no longer there? I don't get it. Blowing one leaf around from one end of the parking lot to another. I've seen that too. It's like men have a little too much fun with that thing. It makes sense. It has sort of, it's a long shape that they hold and kind of dictate, control nature with. And it, as far as being manly goes, that's basically what men like doing. It's a metaphor for something. Ooh, this second part is spicy. No, this is just a random improvisation, so yeah, I feel like some sessions will be more spicy, maybe. Sometimes I'm more annoyed at things. Sometimes I'm calmer. Very calming shows like Bob Ross, the Joy of Painting series, had a formula. So even though Bob Ross did talk while painting, he limited his talking to what he's doing, to what paints he's mixing, and occasionally he would throw in a story about some animals he rescued, about people he met. But he never really delved into deeper aspects of philosophy. It probably would alienate a lot of his audience, and it also explains why I had just one view of my previous video. Not a single soul watched my video, because that one view is from me, from my own view when I was checking if everything uploaded correctly. That's the thing. Is it about drawing or is it about talking? People enjoy drawing, time lapses or step-by-step drawing tutorials, but this is kind of neither. It's neither a rant or podcast nor a drawing tutorial. It's a hybrid. I came to the point of rushing. This is when I'm getting excited about finishing and I go faster. So lately, over the last few months, I kind of walked away from a job. I'm not sure if you can call it quiet quitting. I mean, I did terminate my employment, however, temporarily, with the possibility of returning if I wish. And the job was coaching. I was coaching parkour. I'm a certified level 2 adapt coach. I've coached for close to 5 years, maybe 6. And then I realized that it ruins my pleasure of practice. I'm just turning it into a job was a mistake. And I no longer enjoy my practice sessions. And I just walked away, and it was kind of interesting because I thought that it would be a very big deal and people would be like kind of asking me about like why I'm leaving and what's wrong with you, like are you okay? And everything will be kind of focused on me and me leaving. And then once I walked away kind of gradually, I realized that people don't really pay that much attention to what you want to do. So you sometimes, whenever you feel like you're stuck in a job because you feel obliged to be there, just remember that you can walk away if you need to. And people won't even bat an eye. They'll be like, they will just keep going with whatever stuff they're preoccupied with, and they will not, they will remember you, but they won't lose sleep over your departure. It's just casual. It's okay. You can choose to walk away if you realize that your job is not fulfilling you and you have good safety net. Obviously, you quit your job and then you end up with no resources, no food and shelter, then that's not good. But if you have a plan, maybe you want to change your job, but you feel like, oh, I didn't finish all the tasks for this quarter, I wouldn't do it to my boss. Your boss will be fine, just believe me. Your boss will be okay. And your peers will be just kind of, they will maybe ask, oh, what happened to so-and-so? Oh, he quit. Oh, okay. I hope he's or she's doing well. Anyway, let's go to that meeting. So I was kind of, for a while I felt like I have to explain myself why I quit coaching. In general, I kind of walked away from the whole community. There's a whole parkour community, and I feel like part of it is that I got a little tired of this tendency in America to turn everything into a thing. Everything has to be some big thing, inflated, and it has to have a president and a treasurer, and there has to be like community and events and matching t-shirts and chanting and hype. Why can't things be just casual? Because parkour is just basically playground, advanced playground, and you can make it whatever you want it to be. But I kind of feel like there's this pressure that the community kind of put on you to view this discipline as something specific that they prescribed, subscribe to certain philosophies, and just so soon enough it turns out that everything you try to do, even the simplest thing, has a magazine. There's a magazine. You want to walk, there's a walking magazine. You have to subscribe, and you have to do it properly, because otherwise it doesn't count. So you have to get membership for classes and get an instructor, walking instructor, and then they feed you some kind of propaganda about walking. There's slogans like, you must not walk alone, only those who walk are the walkers, like some kind of esoteric philosophy that you have to subscribe to in order to belong. And then you're just tired of it, and then you just decide to go for a walk. You're out. And that's probably the most genuine walk that you'll ever take. It's your own walk. And that goes for everything. Art too. It's like, you would think that if you want to make art, you just grab a pencil, whatever medium, and you just do it. But no, you have to hear people say what artists should do. Artists should this, artists should that. If you don't have laminated portfolio and CV, the gallery won't accept you. And you need business skills to be an artist, and you have to spend time on designing business cards. There are gatekeepers. I mean, there's so many artists out there that not. I mean, I made this cartoon once. It was like a auditorium full of people. It was kind of like a hyped up TED talk with like drone cameras in the air and like giant lights and some person on the stage with a clip-on microphone saying, "I guarantee you that by the end of this year, all the participants of this conference will have a solo exhibit in the Guggenheim," which is practically impossible because there is probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 artists a year displaying their work there. So there's just too many artists to be accommodated in the too few venues that we have available. The internet kind of in some way democratized art, but the problem with the internet is that you view art on this very small screen, sometimes on the phone, and then you view art in the very small format, and you almost start to believe that all artworks are about 3 inches tall. When you see a real artwork, you're like, wait, it's not glowing, and it's too big. Because everything looks kind of cute and cool, concentrated in a LED screen, in an image, whatever screen the phones are using. It's a trade-off. I guess a good strategy or the good kind of way of being a creative person is to find your audience, even if it's locally, your building, your family, your neighborhood. Make art, show it to people around you, and that's it. Open studios are a good way. It's people coming to your studio and looking at your artwork in its natural habitat. I don't know. Will I finish this today? Takes a while. Part of the impatience comes from being tired because it's getting late. No, I think I have to get a better microphone because I did use clip-on microphone, but it made the sound very flat and it eliminated satisfying sound of the pencil. So I resorted to just not using the microphone, and I'm using the built-in phone mic, which is Because I'm close to the phone, it's decent. The sound is decent. But I think I should look into a nicer microphone. Maybe some kind of stereo microphone. There's the train. Hello, train. It's this time of year. Oh, train. Come on, train. I'm talking now. I'm not going to yell at trains. I thought I was okay with trains. Trains and leaf blowers. Can I say now? Can I speak now? Check, check, check. I forgot what I was going to say. I just yawned, and I bet some of you yawned too, because yawning is contagious. Look at the picture of a yawning person and try not to yawn. Humans are wired for compassion, for kind of commiserating, or for co-experiencing things. We're very suggestive. Like my partner hates Billy Joel, and I never really gave it any thought. Oh, Billy Joel, fine, pop artist. I don't mind Billy Joel. I listened to his songs, and then she told me that she hates Billy Joel, and she told me why, and I'm like, oh, okay, she hates Billy Joel, fine. And then one time I was listening to the music in the car, the radio, and I heard this song that really annoyed me. I was like, what is this thing? Like, I hate this, I'm going to turn it off. But before I turned it off, I looked at the screen showing what artist is singing, and guess what? It was Billy Joel. I'm like, oh wait. She infected me with her loathing of Billy Joel. And sometimes we're so suggestive, like when we spend time with people who like or don't like certain things, it kind of rubs off on us. And say you have a roommate who hates licorice, then you eat licorice again that you didn't have any problems with, and you realize that it's actually disgusting. I'm one of those people who cannot even think about eating licorice. It just gives me shudders. It's disgusting taste. And there are people who can't bring themselves to be near cilantro. Don't even look at the cilantro, because they taste soap in cilantro. It's kind of dish soap or shampoo. And I think I get what they mean by this, but I don't really mind. I did have experiences with cilantro that were suboptimal, but it was only because cilantro was used improperly in the wrong dish. Sometimes when someone mistakes cilantro for parsley, it can end up with a disaster. But when cilantro is used in the right way, like in Mexican food, with spicy and salty, sour things, or Thai food, then it's just spot on. It's really tasty. Vietnamese food is good too. Apparently there are very few foods I can eat anymore. Can't eat gluten. To avoid chocolate, all the pickled things, all the things that could have histamines in it. Because I get headaches or like weird feelings of fatigue and heaviness. And when I talk to various people and they have similar experiences with American food, and they say, I traveled to Europe or wherever else, and suddenly I'm not gluten intolerant. Suddenly I can eat more things, I can eat bread. So what's up with American food? What do they put in it? Even organic food. I mean, European food is getting there too, because everything gets kind of mainstream, Americanized. And industrial farming is replacing the real farming. It's real farming is difficult and expensive, and the produce costs more to buy because it takes more to grow it. So everybody is betting on the cheap way, industrial farming. Produce growing out of styrofoam, and then it's tasteless. It tastes like styrofoam because it grows out of styrofoam. And there are some weird allergies people acquire from all these weird substances. At this point I'm kind of just grinding, just keeping my head down and sprinting to the finish line here. This bottom part is always kind of more subdued and subtle, maybe darker. Somehow it's just the way it is. I guess everything has to run its course. The more light, lofty, cloudy things in the up top and in the middle, and then it kind of breaks through here. And then here it gets more fibrous, and then darker, maybe more uniform. Is that angry train again? Get out of my way, bunnies. There's a lot of rabbits here. It's never been like that. The animals in the least likely urban areas found. I lately was in quite a busy part of town. I was in Brighton, in Boston area, near Coolidge Corner. And I saw a deer, wild deer, just crossing the street from one person's backyard to another. And people were kind of puzzled at what's the deer doing here in the city? And I'll tell them what the deer is doing in the city. There's nowhere else to go because you took its habitat away. That's the deer's territory. And also it's looking for food. Animals apparently developed a great taste for human trash. There are turkeys, deer, coyotes even, and raccoons and skunks, of course, and bunnies, lots of bunnies. And there's a lot of predatory birds like ospreys and hawks. It's hunting for pigeons and sparrows. And maybe bunnies. Baby bunnies are a pretty good protein source for those birds. The train is really angry. Right, and this is oh, I just kind of remembered something. Ah, come on. Must be some really stubborn bunny on those tracks. But who knows, maybe viewers like the sound of the train. The sound of the train will bring me more views and more likes. This video was brought to you by Amtrak or whatever company is operating this line. It's just commuter rail or some kind of freight. Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever get used to the train noise, especially if it's at midnight. We're approaching the last corner. That's one of the more elaborate drawings. It's only because I started it off camera with less talking and more focus. I just kind of fill it up with some more uniform dark tone. But I'm open to accidents and possibilities here too. So the best way to preserve these drawings for me is to frame them right away. Have like a raised mat and put them behind glass. The only problem is that framing professionally is expensive. So I only frame drawings that I am most pleased with, and I think this is one of them. It's kind of a really satisfying scape of some sort, universe, or maybe some kind of dust cloud in the distant galaxy. Or maybe it's the meteorite impact. Oh, to end with, I listened to a podcast today, Hidden Brain, and the topic was quite satisfying. It was about how our brain has breakthroughs when we're not even trying hard, and after long days and long hours of trying to solve a problem or trying to create something meaningful in vain, we get kind of hop on a train or go in the shower and we kind of tune out. And then it hits us. Oh, eureka. I got it. This is it. And so the question was, is it the fact that we gave it a rest that helped? Or is it the fact that we've already clocked in a lot of time trying to figure out that problem? And without that time, the effort of the brain, that sudden breakthrough wouldn't occur. And then I got distracted and I forgot what the answer was. But apparently you can kind of hone in and control this ability by creating a routine of like, I'm going to only strain my mind for 4 hours a day, and then the rest I just have to spend enough time on just idling and meditating or doing something less involved mentally, and that's when magic happens. And then some interesting facts. The Beatles song Yesterday was created because Paul McCartney had a dream and he dreamt up that very tune. Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. That was a melody from Paul's dream. Sometimes I remember having dreamt about a tune. I remember humming it, and even after I wake up, the song is still in my head, and it's something that I've never heard before. It's just a tune that my brain came up with in my sleep, and I don't know how to write down the notes. I don't read music, but I bet the composers have their notebooks ready by their bed. I can write it down. I tried dreams with art, but unfortunately every time I write down my dream, I always feel like, oh, this is amazing. I'm going to make this art piece and it's going to be a breakthrough. It's going to be the best art piece I've ever done. And then when I wake up and I'm fully awake, I look at that written note and it's just crap. It just doesn't make sense. And I don't think that I've ever had any dream-based artwork done because it's always lacking. It seems cool in the dream, of course. I always dream about like looking at some of my older artworks that I forgot about, and it's just really successful art, and a lot of it too. Like, wow, I didn't know that I've done so many different artworks. I kind of feel like almost like it's the feeling of being rich, like I've achieved all these artworks. And then I wake up and then I look at blobs. That's kind of something that I would need to work towards, to kind of preserve some of the art that I've done. Of course, the best thing is to have an archivist, someone who takes the works straight from your table, puts them in a safe place somewhere, catalogs them, alphabetizes them. But yeah, alas, I don't have any such thing, and I actually have lost and misplaced a lot of my artworks or destroyed them. And I'm not even bothered by it as much because the process of making these pieces is what matters to me. Once it's done, I'm like just turning my back on it. I'm ready to move on to the next thing. which will be soon. Looks like we're wrapping up here. And it's going to be time to sleep. Feeling pretty sleepy. This is a great activity for the late hours of the day before sleep. Just make sure that you don't check your screen after that. Another session spent with you, whoever is watching it, in my little bubble of time that I've recorded and sent out into the world. Well, if you're still here, thank you for enduring these two videos, part 1 and part 2. And for now it's going to be this, unless I will find a way to challenge myself, maybe try a different line, maybe press the pencil more, make it darker tones, or radical, or lighter. So there will be changes, but very subtle. So, to whom it may concern, thank you for being here at this time, in this place. And let's hope it can only get better from here.